would you stand with us for the pledge led by Adam Raymer, Andrew Heim, and Devin Blair.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you'll bear with us for a moment of silence. Thank you. And I hope that I pronounced everybody's name correctly. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? In favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Approval of the consent agenda. Have a motion?
So moved.
Have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Let's see, we go down here. Spotlight on education.
Okay, we have a spotlight on education. McFadden School of Excellence robotics team. And the robotics team consists of a group of students who compete annually in the Best Robotics program. The program is named Best for boosting engineering, science, and technology. This is McFadden's fourth year to compete in the program. The team competes locally at David Lipscomb University. Based on performances at Lipscomb, they may qualify for the regional competition at Auburn. This competition at Auburn brings the top teams from over 225 schools across the eastern United States. Only 50 schools will make it to Auburn each year. All schools compete in the same division, so there is no distinction between middle and high school teams. This year, McFadden won South's Best at Auburn University, beating 54 other high schools and middle schools for the top honors. With the win, McFadden has qualified to compete in the national competition in Dallas, Texas. Only 12 teams out of 700 schools across the nation will qualify for the competition in Dallas. A few of the accomplishments are McFadden has finished first or second every year at David Lipscomb University competition since the program began. McFadden qualified for the South's Best at Auburn University for 4 straight years. McFadden has been the number one middle school for the past 3 years at South's Best. McFadden has placed in the top 10 for the past 3 years at South's Best, 4th, 7th, and 1st this year. McFadden is the only middle school to qualify for the national competition in Dallas and the only team from Tennessee represented. So I'd say in advance, if you guys even step into the podium, congratulations. That said, Mr. Blair, are you heading the show here?
Oh, no, sir. I'm putting the people in the know.
All right, there you go. Come on.
We're going to show you roughly what our robot does this year. We are part of South's Best. This year's competition, we have some information we're going to let you look at when you get a chance to look at it. We are a middle school program, and we have been here for 4 years. I won't repeat what was said there, but it gives you an idea that we have worked very hard for our program. We work about somewhere between 120 to 150 hours for 6 weeks to get ready for competition. And after that, we do another roughly 200 hours to compete. Practice. This year's competition is based on alternative energy. We are trying to synthesize what's called isooctane. And part of that, each one of these, the balls, like beach ball, the racquetballs you'll see, this canister here, all represent some type of chemical compound of isooctane. What you see here is our robot, and what the students are trying to do in this competition, each one of these parts is located in a different part of the field, and they're trying to synthesize what's called isooctane. Isooctane is the new fuel of the future, and by grabbing what the globes represent CO2, we have water, we have energy and catalyst. They have to work through a chemical equation to synthesize them in the right order to achieve isooctane. And I'll let these gentlemen talk about how the robot works and what they're going to do is show you how to place stuff on our scoring area, as well as shows pictures of the robot. The one you see painted is one we use in Auburn, and the one you see made out of wood is one we're preparing. We're building a whole new robot for Dallas to be a little more competitive. I'll let him take over.
This year at the competition, our main goal was to get different items in a certain time limit and put them together. We didn't actually put them together, it was more representative, but we had to synthesize them using equations like we learned in science class, chemical equations. And certain chemical equations added together will equal the isooctane. And we learned about things like catalysts, which speed up the process, and how important water is to it, and all the energy that's in it. And now Adam's going to tell you about the robot.
Hey, as you guys step to the podium, introduce yourself. Would you
Sorry, my name's Andrew Hine.
Andrew, good job.
All right, I'm Adam Raymer, and I'm going to tell you about how the robot works and how we overall built the robot. The main thing we do here is our claw. We have to get up to 58 inches high to reach the beach balls, which represent CO2. So when we go up that high, Andrew, if you could pull that claw out and make it lock in. Pull it out. There you go. And we just pick it up like that. So we don't have our rubber bands on there right now. So it normally stays up and it has the right height to reach there. And a main challenge was trying to keep it inside the 24 by 24 by 24 square. But it has to, after you leave, it has to extend out to the 58 inches high to get the beach ball. And another thing is, over there on the left side of the robot, when we go up and down on the arm, it'll lift that little tray up, and you can put cans on there. And when you lift the arm up, it raises it up, and they slide off into the container over there. So you can put a can on there, Andrew.
Got kind of weight on it, doesn't it?
Can't really see it from here, so maybe you can tell me. Another thing is the spotters, which are very important too, so you can actually see where you're going. Down there. Tell me if I'm lined up or not.
Can't see over there.
Is that good?
Back up and turn a little bit. So
Okay.
just follow there with that.
All right, I'll do that. And also, we have a tennis ball catcher, which is in the middle there. It's made out of plexiglass and 4-inch PVC pipe. Normally, when it has a battery hooked up to it, you'll back up and hit the button, and it'll activate the tennis balls, and they will fall down, and you'll catch them. They just go right in between the arm and the what we call the upright there, and it'll go right down there into the bottom, which we call the undercarriage. And you can push the water and the catalyst around that way, push them into our scoring bin. And then also our benzene tanker here, which is worth a whole lot to us because it gives us a lot of points and allows us to synthesize isooctane. We just put it right in the middle here, and we can drive around. And there's pretty much like a garage that you drive it over to and try to put it inside there. Drive it over and back right out, and it's in there, and you get your points.
Cool.
And for our tensioner to make our arm have actual, on the pulley there, it's just a pulley with a belt around it. And to make it tension and stay tight so it doesn't slip, we have a bungee cord wrapped around on a slider that the motor's on, so it pulls it down and it keeps it nice and tight, so it won't slip. Because normally, it sometimes has that problem on our old robots. And like Mr. Guthrie said, that one that is not painted over there is the one we're going to take to Dallas. This one we took to Auburn. We have another one that we took to Lipscomb. So, and we even had another prototype before that. So this is, the one we're taking to Dallas is the 4th robot we built this year. We normally built 1. So it's been a lot of work.
How about the materials you have to use?
And yes, the materials pretty much plywood. We get some PVC and all the motors and electronics and all that. We get some aluminum that we have to cut the aluminum to the shape that we need. And like on our motor mounts, we use the aluminum. We cut squares out and bolt those to the wheel so it'll act like a hub, I guess. And it just takes pretty good time to build all this. Normally it takes about 5-6 weeks if we're really on top of things going. And it's just amazing that we can actually build something like this out of plywood and PVC and a couple of motors and just hook it all up to our brain, which is the center that actually drives all the motors and controls and lets the radio here work. And it's just pretty neat that you can start with nothing pretty much and come out with something that's amazing that'll complete the task.
Good.
Anybody have any questions?
I think we would if we understood him.
That's probably a good point, Mr. Blaine.
Part of the program, what they're trying to, what Lipscomb and all the other is they can give you box materials. You can't use anything outside of box materials. You're required to use there. And so when we get to Auburn, we'll see 55 different robots. Everybody has a different plan. There's no blueprint. There's no idea. It just says do the task. The robot will do the task. And that's what makes it fun for us to brainstorm. It's a headache sometimes, but the fun part is watching the kids, hey, get the aha moment. That's the whole point of our program, is the aha moment. Right now, engineers, America graduates 7% of engineers worldwide. Not really good for America right now, so we're trying best, once this program to continue to the 700 schools they have now. It stops in Texas. It hasn't moved much westwards from there. Best wants to continue growing the program. It's in its 14th year. It was started by 2 guys from Texas Instruments, and they saw a need for this. Next year at Central, we're going to have high school students work our program. It's going to be, I see our program only growing from here. The potential of what we have at Fadden, moving over to Central, allowing us to have 6th graders all the way through 12th graders with our program. Phenomenal opportunity for our students.
I think it's just great the things that are going on in Rutherford County schools. This is just one example of a great program, I feel like. And,
I want to compliment Mr. Guthrie. First of all, obviously he's the driving force behind this. You know, when you're putting all these hours in, I don't guess you're getting any kind of big supplement. And secondly, you know, we have the BEP, the Business Education Partnership, where they award many grants every year, and he is always there. I mean, he takes the time to submit the grant, to put a thoughtful plan in place that benefits kids. You know, any teacher in the county has the opportunity to apply, and I do remember seeing him, I guess, each and every time you're there, and I mean, that's kind of testimony to your devotion to kids, and I'm sure they appreciate it, don't you guys? Good job.
Thanks, sir.
Blair.
At the new central magnet, will they have a special area to work this project, or is this just classroom?
This is all after school. We use a small spectrum room. It's a closet we use right now for our workshop. Talking with Dr. Ash, we're hoping to use the old shop area as our new shop, and so if we get something larger, it's phenomenal. The BEP grant allows us to do this program. I always write a big grant for robot. We have to purchase, now it is free for us to do, but we do have to purchase our materials. It's about $600 a year, and our BEP grants help offset that cost. And that's testament to BEP, what's done right here, shows right for our students.
Great.
Very good. I think it's excellent.
One of the courses at Central is going to be engineering, too, in their CTE.
No, absolutely.
It'd be great. Well, thank you, folks. It was a great job. We appreciate it. And like Mr. Blair said, if we understood it a little more, we probably could have asked a few more questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, yep. Give them a second to get their things moved.
She gets to that. What's next?
Okay, we have a visitor tonight, Miss Janie Ballou. Did I pronounce that correctly? Janine. Oh, I'm sorry. I looked at it and assumed it was Janie. When I looked back down, I saw it was Janine. But thank you. Okay. You'll have 3 minutes to address the board. Ms. Ballou. I'll go ahead and hand it out, and then I'll let you start. I won't cut your time short because you're handing something out. Thank you.
Mr. White, Mr. Gill, members of the board. My name is Janine Lewis. 2 years ago, I was hired by Rutherford County School System to teach at Oakland High School. Subject matter was biology. Mr. Butch Vaughn was the principal at that time. In the course of the interview, he looked up at me and said, "Miss Ballou, you're blue chip." I had to ask a friend of mine what that meant. At the end of that school year, oh, pardon me, it wasn't the end of the school year. Along about April, I was told that I was not going to be rehired. Mind you, I came in October, and I performed job duties that most teachers would not even would wince at looking at the responsibilities that they were taking on. I took the position of a teacher that left me no rating records, none. I was asked to teach biology, and I was handed 3 subjects: life science, physical science, and biology. I was 6 weeks behind when I came to the classroom. I didn't walk away from the challenge. I embraced it. I came in the classroom that year, and I told the students exactly what we had cut out for us, exactly what I had cut out for me as a teacher. A huge challenge. I was caught up 3 weeks, from 6 weeks behind, I was caught up by 3 weeks at midterm. I had 4 weeks to do that in order to afford to render a midterm exam to the students and somehow measure their progress under my direction. When I was told that I would not be rehired, the temptation struck me to walk away from it. But that's not who I am. I endured the last 6 weeks of school knowing that I wouldn't return, but I delivered. I delivered the quality of education that I do every day as a substitute in Rutherford County in every different discipline that I approach with the same passion, the same integrity. If you look at my resume, you'll see that I'm a graduate from Florida State University with a master's degree. From there, I went on to achieve plus 45 hours towards my teacher licensure. I was asked to teach at Laverne High in August of this year. 3 days later, I received the bad news that my appointment had been denied. I couldn't imagine, in my wildest imagination, what had happened in the course of all of this. I asked Ms. Barnes to provide me with certain information that's in my personnel record, and you'll have to excuse me if I seem nervous. I'm taking a huge risk here tonight, gentlemen. I may be burning a bridge eternally tonight, or I may be lighting a fire underneath some people that don't really want to settle for mediocrity in their school system. And I don't know why they would. I honestly don't know why you would. Because I sat through meetings at the state legislature 3 weeks ago and listened to what they were about to implement as far as legislation. And I'm all for it. I'll tell you why. Because the year I was at Oakland High, I produced a 100% pass rate in my physical science classrooms. Do you know how hard it was for me to walk away from those students? Knowing I had helped them succeed? Wondering what my replacement was going to look like? In my biology classroom, I presented a 93% pass rate, and I will tell you, in your Rutherford County Board of Education, rating scale. That's an A in anybody's book.
Ms. Blue, you need to finish up.
All right. All I'm here for tonight is to present some information to you. If I seem angry, I am. If I seem impassioned, I am. Every day I substitute in your classrooms. And I demonstrate the same professionalism. This is what I've heard about my non-rehire. There's a rumor, Miss Blue, that you walked out of the classroom. The 9th commandment in the Bible says, thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor. And I'm here to tell you tonight, I'm not the woman that walked out of the classroom. I'm the woman that stood firm in my convictions and finished my school year, even though I knew I wasn't going to be rehired.
Your time's up, Ms. Blue. I'm sorry.
I hope you'll thoughtfully consider the information I've given you tonight. If you want to discuss it further with me, my email is on my resume, and so is my phone number.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your time.
Number 8, Mr. Gill, Facilities.
Stewart's Creek Middle School football practice observation tower. Principal Creasy has requested permission to construct a football observation tower on the Stewart's Creek Middle School football practice field. The location of the proposed tower is to the south of the school behind the retention pond. The tower will be approximately 10 feet by 10 feet by 30 feet tall, constructed of power poles and pressure-treated lumber. It will be constructed similar to observation towers located in many other Rutherford County schools. The tower will be constructed using volunteers with materials purchased from football proceeds at no cost to the board. Rutherford County Schools engineering and construction staff will inspect the tower construction at regular intervals. We recommend that you approve construction of a football practice tower at Stewart's Creek Mill at no cost to the board.
You've heard the recommendation. Have a motion.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. B.
Our high school baseball field bleachers. Principal Robert Rakes has requested permission to purchase a 10-row section of bleachers for the baseball field at Smyrna High School to better accommodate the state tournament spectators. He plans on moving the existing section of bleachers, splitting them between the softball and football, the softball field and soccer field, solving the gender equity issue. The new bleachers are out for bid and will be brought back to the board for approval. Projected cost for the bleachers is approximately $27,000. The Booster Club will pay one half of the cost, the school will pay the other half at no cost to the board. Recommend that you approve the purchase and install bleachers at Smyrna High baseball field at no cost to the board.
You've heard the recommendation. Have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. C.
Central Magnet School renovation, sealed bids from 10 construction firms were received, open and read aloud for the renovations at Central Magnet School at 2 p.m. on February the 2nd, 2010 at the Central Office Boardroom. The bidding firms were as follows: Sane Construction, R.G. Anderson, Robert Biskin, Commercial Industrial Construction, Diane Boger Construction, George A. Clanton Construction, RCR Building Corporation, Southeast Contractors, Stillwaters LLC, and Romac. Robert Biskin came in with the lowest base bid at $1,490,283. 5 alternates were also bid as follows. Alternate 1, lock, set, and core, $60,312. Alternate 2, interior signage package, $10,000. Alternate 3, new marker boards, $52,000. Alternate 4, additional casework, $1,700. And alternate 5, stage lighting and sound, $105,000. The alternates total $229,012, bringing Biskin's total to $1,719,295, which is $61,402 lower than Clanton Construction's next lowest bid. I was asked, and before reading the recommendation, I think Mr. Doris during again asked last night if we would kind of go over some of the work, the scope of work to be done at Central, and what we'll be doing was remove existing floor coverings located throughout the main and second stories of the main building, painting the walls and hallways throughout the main building and painting the walls in the annex, removing half the lockers located on the first and second floor and replacing them with new lockers. Remaining lockers will be repaired and electrostatic painted to match the new lockers, renovating 9 classrooms and converting them into science classrooms equipped with vent hoods and new science room casework and installing water and gas. New outdoor air unit will be added to the roof to supply fresh air to the science rooms when the vent hoods are in service. Adding offices in the library and installing a new library return desk. Adding new cased out doorways to expand the library into 2 adjoining classrooms. Be installing additional heating and cooling units in the library office areas. Replacing the existing heating cooling units located in the gang restrooms throughout the building. Also construct a sound and lighting control booth to be located at the rear of the auditorium. Relocate existing keyboard casework located in the first floor to a new location in the second floor. In the annex, removing a wall between 2 classrooms in order to expand the size for a dance studio. In the existing CDC room, the contractor is adding a room and installing a kiln. And obviously, we read the alternate one was new lock sets and cores, 2 interior signage, new marker boards, additional casework in room 231, and new stage lighting and sound located in the auditorium. So obviously, the scope of work is pretty substantial. And we're recommending that you award the Central Magnet School renovation project to Robert Biskin for the lowest and best overall bid, including all 5 alternates in the amount of $1,719,295.
You've heard the recommendation, have a motion.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Transportation, number 9.
Paulette Barrett, bus 144, replaced her 20-passenger bus on February the 3rd, 2010 with a new 25-passenger bus. We have received a formal request from Ms. Barrett dated February the 3rd, 2010 to change this bus to a 25-passenger for payment purposes. This will increase Mr. Barrett's pay by a total of $1,589 through the remainder of the school year. Recommend that we approve the request, change bus 144 from a 20-passenger to a 25-passenger for payment purposes.
Heard the recommendation, have a motion.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. 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 Opposed? Motion
10,
passes.
student discipline appeal. The board has been requested to review the January 26, 2010 decision of the Disciplinary Hearing Authority, DHA, to oppose the expulsion of a student from Blackman High School. The student was expelled for 1 calendar year under the board's zero tolerance policy for having unlawful possession of prescription medication on school property. This review is pursuant to the provisions in policy 6.317. The board has the following choices. They may, 1, affirm the decision of the Disciplinary Hearing Authority, or 2, overturn the decision of the Disciplinary Hearing Authority. 3, modify the decision of the DHA to a lesser penalty, except in cases of zero tolerance violations, which this is. 4, grant a second hearing which would be before the board, or 5, deny a request for a board hearing.
Move to affirm the decision of the DHA.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's affirmed. Number 11, general discussion by board members. Anybody have anything to discuss?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to place on the agenda at our next meeting discussion about the Eagleville auditorium and classroom project.
Do you have any problem with putting that on the next agenda, Mr. Gill? Okay, we'll place that on the next agenda.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Anything else?
I just wondered if Mr. Gill had time to look about the high school money from the state tournament.
Ms. Michaels, did you pursue that?
Yeah, I did, but Jeff didn't, he's just been so busy that we'll get it to you.
The next meeting, we have it next meeting.
I'll get it for you by tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry.
Any other discussion?
Cross-section,
Sir?
cross-section of students
Oh, at,
Fed-
Central,
Central.
where they came from.
Joyce, did you get that? We always get something when y'all ask us, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I had an overwhelming day, and I'm not making excuses, but I don't, and Ms. Michaels did too.
Well, I think we.
I will have that for you by tomorrow.
Well, those are not pressing things.
Yeah, but you know, when you guys ask for something, we get it, and, you know, and I, no excuse for not doing it. So I'll take responsibility.
Anything else? Any words of wisdom from anybody? All minds at ease. Meeting adjourned.